Grief is a universal human experience, yet within the criminal justice system it often remains unacknowledged as a driving force behind offending behavior. For many individuals who enter the system, unresolved grief, whether from bereavement, loss of relationships, childhood trauma, or fractured identity, can underpin the choices that lead them to crime. Exploring grief through psychological frameworks such as transactional analysis, TA, and Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's model of grief provides a deeper understanding of how loss shapes behavior and offers valuable insight for rehabilitation. Grief as a root of offending behavior. Offending rarely occurs in a vacuum. Behind substance misuse, violence, or acquisitive crime, there are frequently stories of loss. For example, the death of a parent, the breakdown of a family, or the loss of social identity through poverty and exclusion. Unprocessed grief can manifest in a variety of ways, including anger, impulsivity, or withdrawal, all of which may increase vulnerability to offending. For some, crime becomes a maladaptive coping strategy, filling the void left by loss or distracting from painful emotions that feel too overwhelming to face. Kubler-Ross and the cycle of grief. Kubler-Ross's 5 stages of grief are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, offer a useful lens for examining offending behavior. Many individuals who offend appear stuck in one or more stages. Denial, refusing to acknowledge the depth of loss. Individuals may engage in risk-taking or substance misuse to block feelings. Anger, unresolved rage often underpins violent offending, with crime becoming an outlet for internal turmoil. Bargaining, seeking to regain control, some turn to offending as an attempt to rewrite a narrative of powerlessness. Depression, hopelessness and despair can lead to withdrawal, neglect, or crimes of survival. Acceptance, rarely achieved without support. Acceptance represents the opportunity for behavioral change and reintegration. Without recognition of these processes, the criminal justice system risks addressing only surface-level behaviors rather than the underlying emotional drivers. Too often, grief is dismissed as minimization or treated as an excuse. Yet, in reality, it is a profound emotional experience that can shape behavior in powerful ways. Recognizing this is crucial if we are to respond with greater awareness and understanding. Transactional analysis and the scripts of loss. Transactional analysis, TA, deepens this understanding by examining how grief influences ego states and life scripts. Within TA, behavior is shaped by the interplay of parent, adult, and child ego states. Loss often activates the child state, triggering feelings of abandonment, fear, or rage. If the nurturing parent state is absent, whether through fractured family systems or institutionalization, individuals may adopt maladaptive coping strategies, such as offending, to manage these feelings. Life scripts, the unconscious narratives developed in childhood, are also significant. A person who grows up experiencing repeated loss may internalize a script of rejection or worthlessness, which then plays out in offending behavior. Crime, in this sense, is less about choice and more about the continuation of an unresolved script rooted in grief. Implications for criminal justice practice. Recognizing grief as a driver of offending behavior calls for a more trauma-informed and psychologically aware justice system. Interventions that integrate grief work, therapeutic engagement, and TA-informed approaches can help individuals move beyond destructive scripts. Facilitating space for offenders to acknowledge loss, progress through grief stages, and develop healthier coping strategies increases the likelihood of rehabilitation and reduces reoffending. Final thoughts. Grief is not only a private experience but also a social issue with profound implications for offending. Through the combined insights of Kubler-Ross's grief model and transactional analysis, practitioners can uncover the hidden losses that shape behavior. Addressing grief within the criminal justice system is not simply compassionate, it is essential for breaking cycles of offending and creating pathways to healing and change. If you would like to find out more about my book Imperfect, The Life of a Probation Officer, please follow this link. https://hawksmoorpublishing.com/book/imperfect The Life of a Probation Officer. If you would like to access lots of free articles and training for working with people in the criminal justice system, please follow this link, https://www.workwithoffenders.co.uk. Until next time. Jonathan Hussey.